Now to Commitment 2024 coverage today, President Biden is meeting with union leaders and hosting the NATO summit. It comes as concerns persist about his re-election bid. As Natalie Brand reports, former President Trump weighed in on the discord among Democrats.
President Biden, meeting with union leaders in Washington Wednesday, is trying to shore up the support of key groups that back his campaign as he tries to prove he's still up for the job.
It's all about whether or not we're going to grow the economy, whether we're going to give working people a shot.
This afternoon, the president welcomes NATO leaders during this critical week for his political future.
Joe's own party now wants him to throw in the towel and surrender the presidency after a single 90-minute performance.
Former President Trump capitalized on President Biden's struggles post-debate as he returned to the campaign trail, joining him Florida Senator Marco Rubio, one of the names on his potential VP shortlist.
I think they probably think I'm going to be announcing that Marco is going to be vice president.
With polling that shows Trump ahead in key battleground states, Colorado Senator Michael Bennet went public with this warning.
Donald Trump is on track, I think, to win this election and maybe win it by a landslide and take with him the Senate and the House.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was asked this morning if she wants President Biden to remain at the top of the ticket.
It's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short.
President Biden is set to hold a news conference Thursday, which many see as a major test. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
And the Republican National Convention starts Monday in Wisconsin. Back here at home, the Muhammad Ali Center named a new president and CEO.
The board selected Devon Holt. Now, in a statement, Muhammad Ali's widow, Lonnie Ali, praised Holt's passion and expertise. The Louisville native has spent the past 5 years as Chief External Affairs Officer at Goodwill Industries of Kentucky. Now, he played an integral role in the development of the Opportunity Campus in West Louisville. The Resource Center at 28th and Broadway opened back in March and will include the area's first hospital in more than 150 years. And there's an opportunity this afternoon to get free pet food, all thanks to the Kentucky Humane Society. KHS is hosting a pet food bank today. It's being held on Steadley Drive next to the Humane Society's location there. Pet owners can get a limited amount of free cat or dog food while supplies last. Now, the pet food bank opens up at 1 o'clock.
We're the home of the 2024 Kentucky State High School Baseball Champions, the PRP Panthers.
New at noon, Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg honored PRP's championship-winning baseball team this morning at Metro Hall. He proclaimed today PRP State Champions Day in the city. The Panthers beat McCracken County for the title last month in Lexington. It was the 7th state title in program history. The team had an incredible 40-3 record this season. A big congratulations to them. Very exciting.
Big congrats to PRP. All right, let's check in with Mo to see how our weather is. Maybe if folks want to go outside for a run or,
Perfect weather for a run, really.
Yeah, doing anything outdoors. It's been kind of tough with some of our heat that we've been dealing with and that high humidity, but after the storms moving out early this morning, it's starting to feel a lot more comfortable outside. So please do so. Just put on that sunscreen. Even with our cooler than normal temperatures, you can easily get burned. We're in the mid 70s for the next couple of hours. I think we'll climb into the low and mid 80s later on this afternoon. We'll start to see less and less cloud cover as well. Temperatures are going to remain very comfortable through the evening and overnight, but our storm chances are not zero in the next few days. I'll let you know when you're going to need to grab for that umbrella once again coming up.
All right, thanks for that, Mo. Coming up next, excessive heat alerts now in effect for millions of Americans as cleanup continues from Hurricane Beryl.
Also ahead, a shooting outside the home of a U.S. Supreme Court justice. Now, a carjacking investigation is underway. Police are investigating a shooting outside the Washington, D.C. home of Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
And authorities say it was an attempted carjacking and apparently involved her security detail. Nicole Skanga has more.
The incident happened in the early hours last Friday around 1:15 a.m. D.C. Metropolitan Police say 2 deputy U.S. Marshals were sitting in their SUVs on guard near Sotomayor's residence when an armed suspect approached one of the vehicles. A law enforcement source told CBS News the suspect, 18-year-old Kentrell Flowers, emerged from a silver van, then tapped his gun on the window of one of the deputy's vehicles. The deputy opened fire from inside the car, striking the suspect's jaw. The teen was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and charged with armed carjacking along with 2 firearm offenses. The U.S. Marshals Service confirms the 2 officers were part of a unit assigned to the residences of Supreme Court justices. D.C. police are still investigating the incident, but so far there's no indication the suspect targeted Justice Sotomayor or even knew whom he was attempting to carjack. The deputies were driving Dodge Durangos, popular targets among car thieves. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Washington.
And opening statements are happening today at actor Alec Baldwin's trial in New Mexico. The jury was seated on Tuesday. Now, Baldwin is charged with involuntary manslaughter in the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Now, she was shot and killed in 2021 on the set of the movie Rust. Now, Baldwin was holding the gun that shot her, which was supposed to be filled with blanks. He faces up to 18 months in prison if convicted.
Today, more than 130 million Americans are again facing excessive heat alerts. The remnants of Beryl have also caused some damage, including in Kentucky and Indiana. Beryl made landfall on the Gulf Coast earlier this week. Omar Villafranca has more from Houston.
2 days after Beryl slammed into Texas as a Category 1 hurricane, more than 1.7 million customers here are still in the dark.
Once it, went out, they stayed out.
We spoke to Yvette Carrasco outside her home in Channelview. Without power, she told us, the triple-digit heat index has been unbearable.
It was hot.
Are you okay?
I'm about to not be okay.
Minutes into our interview, she said she had to sit down. When it's this hot and you don't have power, can you stay inside?
No.
With much of the West under excessive heat warnings, Carrasco is not alone. In Portland, Oregon, officials say there have been at least 5 suspected heat-related deaths since Friday. As for Beryl, the storm's remnants were still creating dangerous conditions in the Midwest on Tuesday. This tornado in Mount Vernon, Indiana, crossed into the state from western Kentucky. Watch as the violent twister caused a power transformer to explode and damage several buildings along its path. As it picks up strength, debris from nearby structures can be seen swirling in the air.
I just got missed by a tornado, guys.
Back in Houston, some Texans escaped the severe heat and humidity at local cooling centers.
This year, my complex has lost power twice without hurricanes. It seems incredibly common that the infrastructure can't handle a basic storm.
CenterPoint Energy, the main power company here, says they have restored power to 850,000 customers. That's about a third of the people who are affected by Beryl. But customers tell me they're frustrated because they can't go on CenterPoint Energy's outage map and check the status of the power in their neighborhood because that website has been offline since May from another storm. So instead, Texans are getting creative. Many have downloaded the Whataburger app, which is a popular burger place here in the state of Texas, because Whataburger has highlighted which of their stores are open and which are closed because they don't have power, and people are making guesses that if their Whataburger in their neighborhood has power, they may too. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Channelview, Texas.
We did feel some of the remnants of Beryl here in Kentucky yesterday.
And we are going to be feeling the heat coming up in the next few days, Mo.
Yeah, I would say closer to the end of the weekend, that's when we're going to be sweating again. However, if there was any good news that comes out of these remnants of Beryl is that it has knocked our temperatures down. So we're going to be below normal where everyone else is baking in the heat. We're actually a few degrees, maybe 5 degrees below normal where we should be for this time of July. 84 our high in Louisville. Across the river in Clark County, you're going to be around 81 in Charlestown, 80 in the Knobs, 83 in Bullitt County this afternoon. We're seeing that in Brandenburg, 81 in Corydon. And right now, we're actually feeling very, very pleasant in the skies. We've got some blue peeking out behind those clouds, 76 at the moment. And in our 12-hour forecast, here's how we're going to be climbing, likely the low 80s by 4 o'clock. I think there's going to be a time where we'll get a whole bunch more blue sky. Now, because those bands of Beryl are still fairly present across the area, we might see a few more clouds roll in later this evening, a possible spotty shower. No storms, though, and temperatures are going to be falling into the 70s and then the very pleasant 60s overnight. Looking at the forecast radar, let me just show you. We have some of that cloud cover moving out, and then there you go, another couple of little stripes of clouds that could have just enough moisture in for a sprinkle, maybe a couple swipes of the windshield wipers, and that's it, and not everyone's going to get it. It's very few and far between. We get overnight, we're pretty quiet by tomorrow morning. Now, we are going to watch for a chance for rain, and it's later in the day. Just a couple of spotty showers, maybe a rumble of thunder in the evening. Again, that's about it. Most are going to stay dry, so very minimal rain chances tomorrow. A pop-up shower or storm is possible, and we're getting a little closer to normal with a high of 88. And then we start to heat up. Look at the 7-day forecast. We're drier on Friday, a high near 90. And then on Saturday, we're starting to amp up the heat and the humidity. We're going to be watching for those summer-like storms Saturday afternoon into the evening with a high of 93. Trending a little bit drier on Sunday, still in the low 90s. And then it really starts to heat up on Monday, 95 there. We'll watch for more of those pop-up showers and storms on Tuesday, a high of 97. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to put 100 on the board, not just yet, but we are going to get close on Wednesday. And if there's any saving grace there, we want some scattered storms to hopefully bring down temperatures after that. But honestly, it does not look like we're getting much of a break after Wednesday either. So it is going to get hot. Enjoy our cooler than normal temperatures for today.
I feel like 99 and 100, it probably feels
It all
the same.
feels the same. I could just put 100 pretty much Tuesday through Friday. It is. We're all just going to sweat, so get used to it.
Make sure you hydrate, Mo.
Yes.
Thank you so much. All right, well, it's a first for an Olympics competition, a place dedicated to moms and their children. Coming up next, we'll hear from the track champion who led this effort.
The U.S. is hosting the Copa America tournament. I'm Christian Benavides with the growing interest of soccer nationwide and what that means for the 2026 World Cup.
And real quick, a look at those lottery jackpots. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $203 million, and tonight's Powerball jackpot is $41 million.
In health news this noon, how your family medical history plays a role in the health of a pregnancy and how pollution is causing more than just lung issues. Michael George has more from New York.
Pollution may increase the chance of developing lupus. A study published in Arthritis and Rheumatology found that people exposed to air pollution had a greater chance of catching the autoimmune disease. The study authors say tougher air quality standards are needed. Lupus affects more than 1.5 million Americans, and the majority of patients are women of childbearing age. Women with a family history of endocrine disease are at a higher risk of losing a baby during pregnancy. A study in Denmark showed women who had parents with endocrine disease had a 6% higher chance of pregnancy loss. Endocrine diseases include type 2 diabetes, thyroid diseases, and polycystic ovary syndrome. And people with osteoarthritis face double the risk of developing other severe life-threatening conditions. A study published in RMD Open said the exact cause for the link is unclear, but it may be due to low physical activity and a high-calorie diet linked to osteoarthritis. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News.
The most decorated track and field athlete in history is working to help Olympic athletes who are mothers. Retired champion sprinter Allison Felix appeared on CBS Mornings to talk about the first ever Pampers Nursery. It will be located in the athletes' village at the Paris Olympics. The nursery, which was Felix's idea, provides a place for Olympic moms and their children during the games.
I just knew how difficult it was to compete at the top level after I had my daughter, and some practical things were really hard. And so when I became on the Athletes Commission of the IOC, I really wanted to be that voice for athlete moms. I think it really tells women that you can choose motherhood and also be at the top of your game.
And Felix is also a maternal health advocate and is receiving a $20 million grant from Melinda French Gates for her advocacy work. I love this so much. It is hard to be a working mom.
Yes.
I can't imagine being an Olympic athlete and a mom, so this takes that stress off.
Yeah, it makes you think, how come it wasn't there beforehand? Because obviously women have been competing in the Olympics for quite some time, but obviously the changes happen now, so yes.
We're headed in the right direction. Yes, that's good. I want all the little girls out there, the teenagers, the older women. You don't have to stop what you're doing just because you have a baby. So congratulations, and I love to see more and more of that. I think we're headed in the right direction as far as our temperatures. We're not going to get too hot. We're going to be just right today. We're at 76 right now. We're headed for around 84 this afternoon. So if you want to take the kids out for a walk, take them to the park. Things are now drying out. We'll have a lot of sunshine, so you'll need your sunscreen and your sunglasses today. We are going to be a little cooler overnight, but we get back closer to normal by tomorrow, and we'll grab for the umbrella once again. I'll have all of the details on that forecast coming up right after the break.
You're watching WLKY News.
And good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Shaquille Lord.
And I'm Jennifer Bayless. We're drying out today following the severe weather in our area from yesterday.
And we're going to toss things over to meteorologist Mo Rose on what we can expect for this afternoon. Hey, Mo.
Hey, a much quieter radar. Love to be able to tell you that. Love to turn around and see no colors on there. The Doppler is running. We just have a few clouds in the sky right now. Here's a view from the camera at the Sheraton Hotel right across the river in Jeffersonville, pointing at some clouds, but there's a lot of blue sky behind there as well. So we are beginning to dry out, and temperatures are very comfortable. Dew points have dropped, so it's less humid out there. We're at 76. It will be breezy at times, winds out of the west and northwest at 18 miles per hour. Taking a look at those regional temperatures, Seymour coming in at 74. We're in the mid-70s in Paoli and Brandenburg, 76 in E-Town, 73 in Bardstown and Campbellsville, and right around 70 out at the Capitol Airport in Frankfurt. So let's take a look at the 12-hour forecast. So we'll continue to warm up into the upper 70s by 2 o'clock, hitting around 84 this afternoon, which, by the way, is below normal for this time of year, which is something we haven't been able to say in quite a bit. We've been just baking in the heat. We will eventually heat back up, though, as we get closer to the weekend. So enjoy these temperatures falling into the upper 70s by 8. And take a look at these warming temperatures. Tomorrow, we're a little closer to normal with highs in the upper 80s. Back to 90 on Friday, and by Saturday, 93. And sadly, that's not even the hottest day in our 7-day forecast. We also have quite a few rain chances. We'll let you know when you're grabbing for the umbrella and how hot it's going to get in that 7-day forecast coming up. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Mo. Dare to Care is helping people affected by last week's tornado in West Louisville.
The nonprofit hosted a pop-up food pantry in the Parkland neighborhood, but as our Addie Miners found out, the need is greater than expected.
This long line of cars in the Dare to Care Food Bank parking lot on Tuesday shows the growing need for food assistance, according to Dare to Care's president and CEO, Vincent James.
Already had seen a 30% increase in need in the community. But not only that, we've had people to come to food pantries that have never been before.
James says the 30% increase in need comes from things like a decrease in pandemic benefit programs and higher food prices. And now the need is even greater after a tornado touched down in the Parkland neighborhood last Thursday.
The problem is exacerbated because there's already challenges, and what we're seeing, this is an opportunity for us to be able to meet that need.
On Tuesday, volunteers with Dare to Care passed out boxes full of food to more than 120 families.
This is actually helping out a lot.
Lavater Robertson walked through the line with her son, Aiden. They were given healthy food options like milk, potatoes, fresh fruits and vegetables, plus frozen meals for quicker options.
Ooh, some nectarines. I've never had those. I'm excited for those. They gave us some apples. Or no, what are these?
Those are tomatoes.
Cool. When the Dare to Care comes through, you don't have to spend $300-400 on the same stuff that you about to get here for free. Well, knowing that this stuff shouldn't be over $100 if anything. So these resources really do help out.
James says that's one of the positive things about Dare to Care's mobile pantry. It's like a grocery store on wheels.
We can set up anywhere in a crisis moment and respond to a crisis situation of floods, but we also can respond to tornadoes as well as just the unmet need in the community.
It's a need James admits isn't going away anytime soon. He says Dare to Care is looking to host another pop-up pantry in the coming days. In Parkland, I'm Addie Miners, WLKY News.
And Addie, thank you. And Dare to Care has not yet said when or where that next pop-up pantry will be.
Louisville's health department has a permanent leadership. The mayor appointed Connie Mendel as chief health strategist and Dr. Inder Singhal as medical director. The department provides many services to keep our community safe and healthy, but they acknowledge there are still challenges.
Health inequities are a reality, is a reality for thousands of our neighbors in Louisville and millions of Americans. It's a reality that needs our urgent attention. It's a glaring barrier that prevents individuals from achieving their fullest potential. We must invest in our community and community-driven solutions so we address the root causes for these inequities and empower communities.
And Dr. Singhal and Mendel have been serving as interim directors since May 2023.
All right, looking for something fun to do this Friday? The newest exhibit at the Speed Art Museum will be open. It's called Let's Survive Forever by artist Yayoi Kusama. Now, the exhibit is an immersive mirrored room known as an infinity room. And the museum director says getting this installation to Louisville is literally years in the making.
That particular piece just really deeply resonated. And then it took us, museums, we move a little slow. It took us about 2 years to finally get it here, just in terms of securing the loans and then getting ready for this very complex installation.
And the Let's Survive Forever exhibit will be at the Speed Art Museum until January 12th.
Louisville Orchestra is taking a tour across the Commonwealth, starting in Central Kentucky. The orchestra kicked off the In Harmony tour at Taylor County High School in Campbellsville. The tour gives free full orchestra performances to people all across Kentucky, bringing collaborative programs to schools, libraries, and community centers.
We're going to hear soul, funk, Motown, and music from across the spectrum of orchestral repertoire. We're super excited to celebrate America, celebrate the Louisville Orchestra, and celebrate our state.
And the orchestra will play Friday at Spencer County High School and Sunday at Stephen Foster Amphitheater in Bardstown. A major upgrade to a Southern Indiana park will be celebrated this afternoon. A ribbon-cutting ceremony will happen later today at the Ashland Park Playground in Clarksville. Playground was made more accessible as part of a nearly $300,000 renovation effort. This includes new playground equipment and turf. A grant from the Land and Water Conservation Fund helped pay for the project.
It's a big week for soccer fans throughout the world and in the U.S. as two major tournaments hold final matches this weekend. And as Christian Benavides shows us, this year's Copa America is being hosted in the U.S. and the matches are drawing massive crowds.
This tailgate outside MetLife Stadium in New Jersey may look like it's for a Giants or Jets game, but all this excitement is for a different type of football.
It's kind of one of those once-in-a-lifetime experiences that you don't really know how to prep for.
Juanita Diaz is among the tens of thousands in attendance at Copa America, the premier soccer tournament in the Western Hemisphere, which is being hosted here in the U.S. 16 teams compete over several weeks.
The Copa America is a nice little appetizer for the World Cup come 2 years down the line that we're sharing with Canada and Mexico.
CBS sports analyst Nico Cantor has been closely following the tournament and the betting favorite, Argentina.
For the first time in my life, at Argentina games, I'm seeing a majority of people with Argentina shirts on that are not Argentine.
Argentine captain Lionel Messi's arrival to Inter Miami has provided a boom of interest in the sport here in the U.S.
Having the greatest footballer of all time on our soil is invaluable.
Football fever is adding up to record TV audiences, and analysts say it's having a sizable impact on communities, both economically and culturally. And while the U.S. team was quickly knocked out of the Copa with 2 straight losses, fans are still invested.
Let's go, Brazil!
Proving that the U.S. is more than ready to welcome the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
And this Sunday, the Copa America final will happen on the same day as the European Championship. And boy, it's been something just seeing the growth of soccer, or as they call it, overseas football, just grow in America.
Yeah, all right, Mo. Good day to get out there and play some soccer.
Yeah, or football, or baseball. Yeah, we have no Lou City game tonight, but we do have the Bats playing St. Paul this evening. First pitch is 6:35. Now, there is a chance for a sprinkle. The likelihood of it happening right over the stadium is very small. So I say go out for a ball game because it's going to be beautiful. Look at these temperatures, low 80s and breezy. That ride home, just a few passing clouds, very comfortable in the upper 70s. And enjoy the comfortable weather while we got it, because we're headed for the mid and upper 90s in that 7-day forecast. I'll let you know when that's happening coming up.
All right, thanks, Mo. Storms and extreme heat can take a toll on your family and your home. Coming up, Consumer Reports shares some DIY projects that can make a big difference.
Also ahead, a big change for many hotel bottles. We'll share details of the new law taking effect in one state and why it was delayed. In consumer news this noon, an Ohio-based bank is hit with a multi-million-dollar fine.
And DoorDash is cracking down on dangerous driving. Carissa Lawson has more from New York.
Shares of Apple set a new milestone on Tuesday. The stock, which is up more than 30% in price since April, is now valued at a market capitalization of $3.5 trillion. It's the first company to reach that level. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau slapped Fifth Third Bank with a $20 million fine. The agency says Fifth Third Bank allegedly forced auto loan customers to buy unnecessary car insurance policies and in some cases repossess their vehicles when they defaulted. And DoorDash says it's cracking down on dangerous delivery drivers and will remove them from the service after complaints in a number of cities. Boston officials said in a letter last month that they were seeing an increase in the unlawful and dangerous operation of motorcycles, mopeds, and motorized scooters by delivery workers. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Carissa Lawson.
And new at noon, in a few months, travelers in New York State will notice a change at hotels. A law banning mini bottles of shampoos and lotions, that takes effect in January. New York's governor signed the legislation back in 2021. The law affects hotels that have less than 50 rooms. Now, the restrictions were supposed to start in 2023, but hotel industry lobbyists pushed for a delay so hotels could use their stock already on hand.
Dangerous heat and severe storms are often part of the summer months. We've experienced storms in the area this week. There are ways to protect yourself and your home. Consumer Reports found a good defense starts with DIY projects around the house. Climate change brings more frequent and destructive weather from coast to coast. That's led to a dramatic increase in many homeowners' insurance policies. But that price hike doesn't mean you're getting more coverage.
Homeowners insurance generally doesn't cover water coming from outside of your house, so it's not a bad idea to supplement your coverage with a flood policy.
Even without a flood, extreme heat can damage water in surprising ways, specifically with your plumbing. Take metal pipes. They can expand and contract and, over time, leak.
You want to inspect your plumbing routinely or have a plumber do it on a recurring basis. You can also install leak detectors, which will let you know immediately if there is a leak. They can be a little bit expensive to install, but save thousands in the long run.
Consumer Reports recommends this leak detector from Moen. Extreme heat can wreak havoc on your roofing, even when the weather is dry.